Can you imagine? Can you even imagine looking into the eyes of your favorite cousin, the one who knows all your secrets, the one who ate at your mother's table, and realizing they came to kill you? This is exactly what happened to Ibrahim Traoré, the youngest president in Africa, and I promise you, by the time I finish telling you this story, you will never look at your own family the same way again. But wait, before I tell you how this cousin tried to commit the ultimate betrayal, let me ask you something that might save your life one day. If someone in your family was forced to choose between your life and their mother's life, what do you think they would choose? Think about it. Really think about it. Because that's exactly the choice that was forced upon Mamadou Traoré, and what he decided to do will leave you speechless. You see, Ibrahim Traoré isn't just any president. This man took power in Burkina Faso when he was only 34 years old. 34. Most of us are still figuring out our lives at that age, but this man was running an entire country, and not just running it, but fighting terrorists, kicking out foreign companies that were stealing Africa's gold, and making enemies with some of the most powerful people in the world. These enemies, they tried everything to stop him. They sent assassins. They tried military coups. They used economic sanctions. Nothing worked. You know why? Because Ibrahim Traoré was too smart, too careful, too protected. So these enemies came up with a new plan. A plan so evil that it makes my skin crawl just thinking about it. They said if we can't reach him from the outside, let's destroy him from the inside. Let's use his own family against him. Now, pay attention, because this is where the story gets crazy. Growing up in a small village called Bondokui in Burkina Faso, there were two boys who were inseparable. Ibrahim was the younger one, always serious, always reading books about war and leadership even as a small child. The older boy was Mamadou, his cousin, who was like a big brother to him. When Ibrahim's father died, it was Mamadou who protected him from bullies. When Ibrahim had no food, Mamadou shared his own. They even did something that might sound strange to you but was very serious to them. They cut their hands with a knife and mixed their blood together, promising to be brothers forever. Forever. They thought that blood oath meant something. They thought it was unbreakable. How wrong they were. Fast forward 20 years, and everything had changed. Ibrahim became a military captain, rising through the ranks faster than anyone in history. Soldiers would tell stories about him like he was some kind of superhuman. They said he only slept 4 hours a night. They said he could remember every single military strategy book word for word. They said he could shoot better than men who had been training for twice as long. Meanwhile, Mamadou tried to become a businessman, but failed. His first business collapsed. His second business collapsed. His third business left him with so much debt that he couldn't even afford to eat properly some days. Can you imagine the jealousy? Can you imagine watching your younger cousin become a national hero while you can't even pay your bills? But here's the thing about Ibrahim, and this is important for you to understand. When Ibrahim took power in that military coup in September 2022, when the whole world was watching this young man become president, the first person he called wasn't his generals. It wasn't his advisors. It was Mamadou. He said, "Brother, I need you by my side. Come to the palace." And just like that, Mamadou went from being a failed businessman to living in the presidential palace, having his own car, his own office, his immune security guards. Ibrahim made him a special advisor, gave him everything. To the outside world, it looked beautiful. Two cousins working together to save their country. But jealousy is like a poison that spreads slowly through your heart, and Mamadou was full of it. 6 months into Ibrahim's presidency, something happened that changed everything. There was a big dinner at the palace with ambassadors and important people from all over the world. Ibrahim was giving a speech about his vision for Burkina Faso, and everyone was mesmerized. Everyone except Mamadou. He stood in the corner, watching his cousin get all the attention, all the praise, all the glory, and something inside him snapped. That night, he couldn't sleep. He walked through the palace hallways and stopped at a portrait of Ibrahim in his military uniform. "You know what?" he said to that portrait. He said it should have been me. I'm older. I'm the one who protected him. Should have been me. The very next week, Mamadou got a mysterious phone call. The voice on the other end said, "Meet me at the old tea shop in the market if you want to change your life forever." Now, any smart person would have ignored this call. But remember, Mamadou was desperate. He was drowning in jealousy. So he went to that tea shop, and there he met a man whose face was hidden in shadows. This shadow man represented powerful people who hated Ibrahim. Foreign companies angry that Ibrahim kicked them out of Burkina's gold mines, politicians who lost their power, military officers who thought they should be president instead. The Yar. Shadow Man pushed an envelope across the table and said, "Open it." Inside that envelope was more money than Mamadou had ever seen in his entire life. We're talking about millions. Millions! The Shadow Man said, "All you have to do is help us remove your cousin. You have access to him that nobody else has. You know when he's alone, you know what he eats, what he drinks. We don't want a messy coup with shooting and violence. We want it to look natural, like a heart attack or food poisoning, an accident. You do this one thing and you'll be rich forever." Mamadou's hands were shaking. Kill Ibrahim? Kill his brother? The boy he protected all those years? He told the Shadow Man, "I need time to think." The Shadow Man smiled and said, "Take all the time you need, but remember, your cousin is destroying this country. If he continues, the Western powers will punish Burkina Faso. The economy will crash, people will starve. You could save your country and become rich at the same time." For 3 weeks, Mamadou carried that envelope without opening it again. Every day he would see Ibrahim working 20 hours straight, giving away his presidential salary to build schools, eating the same simple food as his soldiers. Ibrahim was genuinely trying to help their country, and it made Mamadou's decision even harder. Then one evening, Ibrahim found Mamadou on the palace balcony and said something that cut through his heart like a knife. He said, "Mamadou, you're the only person in this palace I trust completely. Everyone else might betray me, but you're my blood. You would never betray me." That night, Mamadou decided to burn the envelope and forget everything. But then, the very next morning, everything changed. He got a call from his village. His mother was dying. She had a terrible illness and needed treatment that would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Treatment that was only available in Europe. Mamadou ran to Ibrahim immediately, and Ibrahim said, "Of course we'll help. She's my aunt. She's family. I'll arrange everything." But when Ibrahim tried to arrange the payment, he discovered something terrible. Western banks had frozen Burkina Faso's accounts as punishment for kicking out their companies. The money was there, but they couldn't touch it. Ibrahim promised to find another way, but the doctors said Mamadou's mother had only days to live. That same night, the Shadow Man called again. He said, "We heard about your mother. Such a tragedy, but guess what? We've already paid for her treatment. She's on a plane to Paris right now. The best doctors in Europe are waiting for her." Mamadou couldn't believe it. He asked, "How is this possible?" The Shadow Man said, "This is just a taste of what we can do for you. Your mother will get 3 months of treatment for free. After that, if you help us, she continues treatment. If you refuse, well, she dies." They had him. They completely had him. It wasn't about money anymore. It wasn't about jealousy. It was about his mother's life. With tears streaming down his face, Mamadou asked, "What do you want me to do?" The Shadow Man said, "Tomorrow at noon, go to the marketplace. Behind the fruit vendor, you'll find a package. Inside is a small bottle with clear liquid. 3 drops. In any drink. Undetectable, untraceable. Your cousin will die within 6 hours and it will look like natural heart failure. You have 1 week to do it." The next day, Mamadou picked up the package with shaking hands. The bottle was so small, so innocent-looking. How could something so tiny destroy everything? For 3 days, he carried that bottle, looking for the right moment. But every time he got close, Ibrahim would say something that stopped him. Once, Ibrahim pushed away his tea and said, "Mamadou, do you remember our blood oath under the baobab tree? That's still the most sacred promise I ever made. Another time, Ibrahim shared his food with Mamadou and said, "You're the only one who reminds me of who I really am. Just a boy from our village trying to help his country." But then Mamadou would get a photo on his phone showing his mother in the hospital bed, looking weak, with a message saying, "Time is running out." Finally, on the 6th night, Mamadou made his decision. There was a security meeting at 3 in the morning when the palace would be empty and most guards would be sleeping. Mamadou prepared Ibrahim's favorite tea, something he had done hundreds of times. Nobody would suspect anything. His hands shook violently as he held the poison bottle over the teacup. 1 drop fell, 2 drops fell, the 3rd drop hung on the edge of the bottle like it didn't want to fall, like even the poison knew this was wrong. Finally, the 3rd drop fell into the tea. Mamadou carried the tea tray through the dark hallways, his legs feeling like they were made of stone. Every step was torture. Every shadow on the wall looked like it was judging him. He knocked on the door of the meeting room and Ibrahim called out, "Come in." The president was alone, studying a map of terrorist positions. He looked up and smiled. "Perfect timing, brother. I was just getting thirsty." Mamadou set down the tray, trying not to let his hands shake. Ibrahim picked up the cup, but then paused. He looked at Mamadou with those sharp eyes that missed nothing, and said, "You look terrible, cousin. Are you feeling all right?" Then Ibrahim said something that made Mamadou's blood freeze. He said, "You know, something interesting happened today. My security chief told me someone from inside the palace has been meeting with my enemies. Someone was seen at the marketplace picking up a package. The same marketplace where we used to steal mangoes as children. Do you remember?" The room started spinning around Mamadou. Ibrahim stood up, still holding the poisoned tea, and said, "The security footage from the marketplace is very clear, Mamadou." Mamadou's legs gave out. He collapsed into a chair. You know everything?" Ibrahim set the cup down without drinking and said, "I've known for 3 days. I've been watching you, hoping you wouldn't do it. Every time you didn't poison me, I thought maybe our bond was stronger than whatever they offered you." Mamadou started crying. They have my mother, she's sick. They said they would let her die if I didn't do this." Ibrahim's face changed. "Your mother? Aunt Mariama? But I said I would help." Mamadou explained about the frozen accounts, the lack of time, the threats. Then Ibrahim did something that shocked Mamadou to his core. He picked up the cup of poisoned tea and drank the entire thing in 1 gulp. Mamadou screamed and lunged forward, knocking the empty cup away. "What have you done? We need to get you to a hospital." But Ibrahim just smiled sadly. "The poison was replaced 3 days ago, cousin. What I just drank was sugar water. My security team switched the bottles while you were sleeping." Mamadou stared in complete shock as Ibrahim continued. "The moment you met with those people, I knew something was wrong. I know you better than anyone. I saw the change in your eyes. So I had you followed. When I learned about your mother's treatment, I understood they weren't trying to buy you. They were trying to break you, to turn you into a weapon. But I needed to know who was behind this. These people are like smoke. If I had arrested you immediately, they would have disappeared and tried again with someone else. So I let you play out their plan while my people traced every payment, every communication, every connection." Ibrahim pulled out a thick folder. "Do you know what we discovered? The same people paying for your mother's treatment are funding terrorist groups in our country. The same foreign corporations who claim to want to help Africa are the ones creating chaos so they can steal our resources while we're distracted. It's all here. Everything we need to expose them to the world." Mamadou asked with a broken voice, "What about my mother?" Ibrahim's face softened. "Your mother is safe. I had my own doctors take over her care 2 days ago. She's getting the best treatment in Cairo at a hospital not controlled by our enemies. She's going to be fine." Mamadou completely broke down, sobbing like a child. "I nearly killed you. I nearly killed my brother for nothing." Ibrahim said firmly, "Not for nothing, for love. You did it for love of your mother. I understand that. I don't forgive the betrayal, but I understand the reason." Then he walked to a safe and pulled out another folder. "By law, what you've done is treason. The penalty is death. My generals expect me to execute you at dawn. Mamadou nodded, accepting his fate. But Ibrahim continued, I'm not thinking like a president right now. I'm thinking like the boy who made a blood promise under a baobab tree. He opened the folder, showing passport documents and plane tickets. There's a flight leaving in 3 hours for Morocco. From there, you can go anywhere. This account has enough money for you to start a new life, to take care of your mother, to disappear forever. Or you can stay and help me fight the real enemies, the people who manipulated you. You know their faces now, you know their methods. You could help us expose them. But if you stay, there can be no more secrets between us. The trust we had is broken and might never heal. But you would be alive and fighting for something meaningful. What do you choose? Mamadou looked at the escape folder, then at Ibrahim. After everything I've done, you would keep me close? Ibrahim said honestly. Trust? No. But I believe in redemption. I believe the boy who protected me is still in there. I believe people can choose to be better than their worst moment. Mamadou stood up slowly. The men who hired me have a meeting in 3 days. All of them will be in one place at the old French embassy, thinking they're safe because they believe you'll be dead by then. Ibrahim smiled. Then we have work to do, cousin. 3 days later, at dawn, Ibrahim's special forces raided the old French embassy. The conspirators never saw it coming. Within minutes, they were all arrested. The shadow man who had approached Mamadou spat at him as he was led away in handcuffs, calling him a traitor. Mamadou replied, Yes, I was a traitor to my family, to my blood, to everything that matters. But today I chose to be something else. The information they got from these arrests was incredible. The conspiracy reached into several countries, backed by corporations worth billions. They had plans to keep all of West Africa unstable and poor so they could keep stealing resources. Ibrahim released all the evidence to international media, causing a massive scandal. Western corporations faced lawsuits. Diplomatic relations changed. Most importantly, terrorist attacks in Burkina Faso decreased dramatically as their funding dried up. 6 months later, Ibrahim called Mamadou to the same room where the poisoning attempt happened. Do you know what day it is? 25 years ago today, we made our blood oath under the baobab tree. I've been thinking about that day. We were so innocent. We thought loyalty was simple, that brothers could never betray each other. You destroyed that innocence, but you also taught me something valuable. You taught me that good people can do terrible things when they're desperate. That forgiveness isn't weakness, but maybe the greatest strength a leader can have. Ibrahim poured 2 glasses of palm wine. I can't offer you my complete trust again. That's gone forever. But I can offer you something else. A different kind of brotherhood. One built not on innocent promises, but on full knowledge of each other's capacity for both betrayal and redemption. They drank together, and the palm wine was sweet, nothing like the poisoned tea that almost ended everything. Today, Mamadou still works in intelligence, having helped stop 3 more assassination attempts against Ibrahim. Each time he remembers the weight of that poison bottle and works harder to protect the cousin who spared his life. His mother recovered fully and doesn't know how close her son came to committing murder. Ibrahim continues to lead Burkina Faso with the understanding that his greatest threats might come from those closest to him, but also that his greatest strength lies in transforming enemies into allies through mercy. The baobab tree where they made their childhood promise still stands. Children still play under it, making their own promises of friendship, not knowing the story of 2 boys who stood in that same spot, mixed their blood, swore to be brothers forever, and then nearly destroyed each other. But maybe that's the most important lesson. Life will test every promise we make. People will disappoint us, betray us, hurt us in ways we never imagined. The question is, what do we do when it happens? Do we respond with more violence, more betrayal? Or do we find the courage to choose differently? Ibrahim chose differently. In a world where power corrupts, he chose mercy. That choice didn't just save Mamadou's life. It showed an entire nation that there's another way forward. Remember this story. Remember that the people closest to us can hurt us the most, but we have the power to choose forgiveness. Remember that anyone can fall, but anyone can also be lifted back up if someone is brave enough to extend a hand. In your life, you will face betrayal. You will be hurt by people you trust. But remember Ibrahim's choice. Remember that mercy from a position of strength isn't weakness. It's the ultimate expression of power. This incredible story from Africa reminds us that our continent's greatest tales aren't just about wars and conquests, but about the human heart in all its complexity, capable of great betrayal, yes, but also capable of even greater forgiveness. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Because in a world full of shadows and betrayal, we all need to be someone's light. We all need to be someone's second chance. We all need to be the person who chooses to break the cycle of revenge and choose mercy instead.